One of the most important lessons I ever learned about becoming something that I wanted to be, getting a goal, reaching a certain level in life, was how I had to start being today, immediately, before I would become that thing. I'm going to explain that to you today. I learned it from my mentor. He's now a billionaire today. And I'm going to go through step by step really quickly. This is 20 plus years of knowledge I'm going to condense in about 12 minutes here. And I want to share it with you because it completely changed my life. And it was something I truly didn't believe at first because it kind of seemed like, a fake it till you make it thing. But I realized it wasn't about the fake it till you make it. It was actually be until you become. Let me explain. He told me early on, he said, what do you want to be? Whatever it is, your goal, you want to, get in better shape and look like an NFL football player. You want to become a faster runner, a better swimmer. You want to have more money in the bank and become, be a real estate investor and have all this money and wealth, whatever it might be. He said, the first step you must do is find out what are the daily practices and habits of those people. And he said that's important because you'll see a pattern. You'll see a pattern with the most successful NFL players. You look at the people like Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, some of the top professionals and the top in those spaces. You see how they act. You talk about people, look at basketball, Kobe Bryant. Everyone knows about his work ethic. Michael Jordan, you look about his work ethic. So you see these people. What are their daily practices? What were they doing on a daily practice that was very, very different from everyone else? You look at some of the top investors in the country. What are their daily habits and practices? What are they waking up and doing? First thing, second thing, third thing. Doesn't matter where they are. They're typically following this routine. And you have to find out what that is. That's the most important thing. It's not that hard if you just do a little bit of research and you start talking to people. It's not that hard to find out. A lot of this is easy to find out when you start networking and hanging around with the right people. So he said in concert with that, at the same time, what you want to do is also start telling people around you what your goal is, what you're doing. It's a public declaration. So the people you spend the most time with, and even if it's someone maybe you see randomly, the person who's running the gym, person you always see at the market, whatever it might be. Of course, your closest friends, and of course, if you have a spouse, your parents, your siblings, whatever, people you see most often in your world. You want to publicly declare what you're doing. You want to say, yeah, so my goal is this, and so I'm trying to become. I want to become that. That's my goal. So in effort to become that, I'm going to start being and doing these things every single day. Well, why are you making that public declaration? Well, you're around these people, right? So they're going to see if you are holding to it or you're not holding to it. You can't tell the 5 closest people to you that you're going to quit smoking and then when you're around them, sneak away for a cigarette. It's just not possible. You're going to come back and they'll be like, what are you doing? I thought you said you were quitting. I thought you said you're going to become this new person, right? So same goes for anything else. You want to work out. You want to start gaining muscle, losing fat, whatever. And you start doing things that don't align with that, and the people that are closest to you are like, I thought you said you're looking to work out and gain muscle and lose fat, and you're eating French fries and a piece of cake. What are you doing here? So that's why the public declaration part. So it's a 2-part thing. You got to find out what those people are doing and start being that person every single day. But then also that public declaration of letting everyone around you know that you're going to do that. Why is it important in that being? Well, at first I thought of it when he first told it to me was, oh, this is like a fake it till you make it. Is that what it is? And he said, no. It's not fake it till you make it. Not at all. It's being every day what those people are. Every single day, you're being what you need to be in order to ultimately become what you want to become. And you're never going to become what you want to become if you don't start today. It's not like you're going to say, well, I want to be rich, so when I'm rich, I'll be rich. No. You have to start today with the practices every single day, no matter how small they are. Do the things. I mean, it doesn't matter if the bank account is not changing right now. If you do the work and you follow the daily practices of the wealthiest people in the country, before you know it, I assure you, give it 100 days straight of doing what the top 1% wealthy people in the country do on a daily basis, from when they're waking up, what are they reading, what are they checking their accounts, what are they studying, right? All those things, right? Of course, you're not going to be able to do every single thing they do, but What are their general practices? Follow that for 100 days and see if your life changes. You want to get in better shape. You want to become faster, stronger, whatever. Well, find out what the top level NFL athlete is doing, top level Olympic athlete is doing, top level Ironman athlete, whatever it is you want to do. Find out what they're doing. How are they training? How are they eating? When are they waking up? What are they doing on a daily basis that got them to that point and is keeping them at that high level? And then, of course, on your level, start doing that. It doesn't matter how small you start, just in some way, shape, or form, you start doing that every single day, and then you put out that public declaration to everyone around you of what you're doing. A lot of people say, oh, work in silent, work in the shadows, whatever. And I believe that in some capacity, for some people, that will work, because those people, they don't need that overwatch from people around them saying, hey, whoa, what are you doing there? What are you eating there? Hey, you're sleeping in. I thought you were, right? They're going to do the work anyway. But most people aren't going to do the work. They're just going to try to get around it. So if you're one of those people who it doesn't matter, you say you're going to do it, you put your mind to it, great, far out, good for you. But most people kind of need that little overwatch from those around them. And you have to ask yourself, if the person you wanted to become was watching you on a daily basis, how would you act? What would you do? How would you move? Would you just hit the snooze button 9 times, although you know that they're getting up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, and they're starting their day going? No, if they were watching you, you'd be like, crap, I'm gonna not hit the snooze button. I'm gonna wake up and go. If you knew they were reading X amount a day, you wouldn't just read one page or not read at all and be like, oh, if they were watching you, you would do the reading, you would do the work. So act as if the person you want to become, future you, that's already become that thing, is watching you. And how would you act? How would you move? What would you do? What would be your daily practices? If it's a fitness thing, what would you eat? Would you eat that? Would you not eat that? Would you drink that? Would you not drink that? That is the baseline for becoming what you want to become. For example, you see me wearing the Gracie Barra shirt. One of the things I'm striving for right now is to get my black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So when I started training, I talked to a lot of black belts, and everyone just said the same thing. They said, it doesn't matter how you feel, just keep showing up. And they recommended to show up and train 3 days a week at a minimum. I said, okay, that's not too hard. And of course, I started out training 5-6 days a week. And then, as you know, you get into it and you get busy and whatever, you back off a little bit. You have responsibilities, you have life. I'm running a company, fine. But the 3 days a week, I never forgot that. They said 3 days a week. And almost all the black belts I talked to said minimum 3 days a week. Train for 3 days a week and just keep showing up. A couple other things they said. They said when you learn things in class, start writing them down. When you leave the academy, go home and take some notes and write them down. So I started doing that. The other thing they said is watch tournament video. Watch tournament video of some higher level black belts and watch how they are moving. What are their grips? How are they moving, right? And that is something that I started doing early on. So from the early stages, when I was a white belt, I was just a brand new white belt, I listened to what the black belts were saying about how they got to black belt. And I said, okay, I want to become a black belt. What are they doing? And what did they do to get there? And then I started being that. As a white belt, I started acting and being. I would watch what they would do, and I would try to emulate them and their habits and their practices, whatever it was. I was trying to already be that with how many days I showed up, the note-taking, the video watching, doing the drilling. I started doing all of it. And next thing you know, here I am right now, a purple belt, working on about to get my brown belt, and it happens. It happens. And in a short period of time, I will have my black belt because I am doing the work. I am being that person every single day. Every day I show up there at the academy to train, I am being that. And even when I'm not there, when I'm away from the academy, I'm doing the work. I'm being the black belt. I'm already, in my mind, I'm already the black belt. And when you hold that thought, and because you're already being that person, you're already following those actions, it's only a matter of time before you become. So it's only a matter of time. I don't think about the belts or the stripes or anything else anymore. I just worry about doing and being that person every day, every week, every month. Start being and have the integrity to actually be that thing starting today. Not say, I'm going to start on Monday. Oh, I'm going to start on the first of the month. I'm going to start after the holidays. No, today. I'm going to start being that person today. I'm going to tell everyone around me that I'm going to start being that person today, and they're going to know. And I'm going to know, and I'm going to start being every single day, piece by piece, little by little. I am going to start being. And I don't care how long it takes. I'm going to be committed to this. And like I said, do it for 100 days. If you're not committed to doing something for 100 days straight, you're not really committed to it, and you don't really want it. Just be honest. So just commit to do it. I'm going to discover what they do, and I'm going to start doing those things. I'm going to start being that person today, because that's how bad I want to become that person in the future, down the road. And you're not going to get there fully maybe in 100 days, but after 100 days, I bet you feel a lot better, and I bet you're in a way different place. And that energy of feeling better and being in a different place is going to energize you to keep being that person, because you're going to get one more step closer to actually becoming that person. And sharing this to help other people get there is something that just feels so good. It feels so good. I never had a dad growing up. My mom was an immigrant. She was a single mom her whole life, and she didn't know about any of this stuff, so she wasn't teaching me this stuff. But now that I know it, I feel like, man, I could teach this. And maybe there's someone else who's in my situation that can benefit from this. So if you can, that's great. That's why I'm doing this, and that's why I'm sharing this. You get to this point where you just want to share. You want to share, and you want to help others grow, because at some point, okay, the money's great, but what really feels good is watching someone else implement in their world and rise up themselves. I mean, it's a great feeling, right? So that's why I'm sharing this. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I'm going to do my best to answer all the comments. And of course, if you found this content beneficial, go ahead and give this video a like, a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Share it if you think there's someone in your world that would benefit from listening to this. And also, of course, if you feel like this kind of content is for you, then give me a subscribe. If not, that's okay too. I don't have any links to share or anything like affiliate stuff like that, just sharing some knowledge and want to help people grow and get to where they want to, become what they ultimately want to become by helping them be today to become that future self that is possible. If you put in the work today, it is possible. You just got to be consistent and just got to be disciplined. That's all. So thanks for watching.